What's up, y'all? It's the one and only John Maynard with Tactical Tint. Got me one of these Honda Ridgelines in, and I'm sure a lot of you know about these front quarter windows. They are very tight, pretty much. Let me see if you can. Some of them are looser than others. I've been able to do it without removing it. This one is like, look at my card is stuck in there. I had to yank it out. So to get the tint back in there and then put a tool back there to squeegee it out is very hard. Like I said, I have done it. I already did the other side. It was way looser than this side, so I figured I'd make the video on this part. We're gonna pull this glass, tint it, put it back in. And I'm going to show you how to do this because I'm freaking awesome. All right. So, let me set this bad boy up right here for us. Let's see here. Bear with me here. You see the door panel? Let's see. Right here. There we go. Let's try it right here. All right, there you go. That's good. So, you need a 10 milli. You need a Phillips head screwdriver. You need some kind of pick tool, plastic, I don't give a shit. If you're gonna use metal like I always do for like these little things, don't slip with this. You slip, hit the door panel, you're gonna scratch it. It's got a metal tip on. So there's a little clip right here by the door panel. Pull from the top down. Boom shakalaka. There's 2 screws. Phillips heads. I don't ever use power tools. And you can, but a lot of these are so loose, like you're either gonna strip out the plastic or, you know, if you, God forbid, you slip off and take your drill down the damn door panel. And a lot of these cars are, they're getting weaker and weaker and very easy to mess up. So, screws. Oh yeah, one more screw under the armrest. There's just one. Phillips head. All right. Bottom corner front door panel is where you start pulling. Make sure your screws are out first, or you're gonna have a bad day. Pull, and sometimes you gotta yank. All right, everyone knows, and I'll pull one out to show you. These things sometimes stay in the holes. There's a little thin piece of plastic. It's very easy for it to pull out when you're yanking on it. New cars are not even gonna break. You just pull them back out, put them back in. Older cars, like I see a lot on like Mercedes and stuff like that, they're probably gonna break. At least one of them. I keep these in a big bin. It's not a big deal. You just replace it, put it on there. So, all right, I'm gonna put this back on. So, next thing you wanna do is roll the window down. Okay, you got your door panel all loose, see? Some cars, they got a metal end on the sweep or bottom gasket, whatever the hell you wanna call it. Be careful if you're gonna go this way up. A lot of door panels you have to because it's front mast. So if it's got a metal end, it's not a big problem on this one. But I know like Subarus and Toyotas, it's tight. You gotta be careful. And I have done it, so I know it can happen. But this one's got a big rubber gasket on here, so it's not that big of a worry to me. All right. Then the next thing I do is I pop the bottom end, so you don't gotta take all the wiring off. All that bullshit. All right, this thing right here. This is pretty much just like the plastic sensor, or it's a plastic, you know, trim piece, but it's got a sensor in it for if there's a car in the other lane. Yank that sucker out. It's easier to get from the bottom. All right. Next thing, if you look, when you see where it's plugged in, Just take your little pick tool. So you can leave it in, but I hate when like shit's dangling on door panels. You know, you don't want to scratch anything. So just take your pick tool, boom shakalaka. All right, this is where we're getting into the good stuff. Door panel and plastic is removed. This right here, mirror bolt, third mirror bolt. Don't take them all the way off, loosen them. The reason being is there's vinyl right here. When you go to slide that back in, that vinyl's gonna rub on this mirror if it's too tight. And it will mess up. And a lot of these, this one's not bad. But I've seen a lot of these new cars where they're already messed up because they're rubbing on each other. Just loosen them. Trust me, it's an extra, step, but you'll be good. Another thing, I know somebody's gonna say it on here. Oh my God, it takes so long. Like, oh my God, like, why would you do that? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I charge for it. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't charge for it. I give the option. You want me to remove it, do it right, or do you not want it right? And I always make it sound bad, so they do it right. So usually I just loosen them up. And I just take it to the end, man. To the limit. All right, so mirror should be loose. Mirror will just be hanging there. Let it hang, man. It likes to hang. This bolt right here. Let's see if you can see. This guy. Fully remove that. This holds the track in place. There's another one deep down in there. The bottom of the door panel. Or I'd say probably midway right past the door handle. Do not remove that. I've seen people remove that. My issue with that is these tracks have slots where you can adjust them. You can't tell me for sure that you can get that back into place. The reason being is because that track goes down in between the pinch of the door panel. Now, I haven't removed all the insulation and sound deadening to see if you could get to it, but why would you want to do that anyways if you don't have to do it? And then once you pull that sound deadening stuff off, it's glued on there. So you're definitely changing the car up. I just don't see the reason. I saw another video where a guy did it, and I just don't know why he had to do that. So we're going to pull this out next. Let me prop you all back up in there so you can look at my beautiful self. 10 milli. Most everything's a 10 milli nowadays. Most everything. Boom. Don't lose your screws. All right. Then there's another. So, if you look at this gasket, it just pulls out. Just give it a little tuggy tug. Sometimes it's hard to get back in, but I'll show you that. Screw. You see that screw? You see it right there? That's a Phillips head. We're going to pull that guy out. Put it back right there. Watch the master. All right. Don't lose this screw. It's tiny. All right. Everything should be out. Next thing you want to do is part. Other than removing the glass, this is probably the sketchiest part. So you're going to pull this track back. Make sure the window's down all the way. She's down. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn the power off. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold up. So next thing I do is pull this gasket out right here. Let's get a tool. Get nice back in there. And then just pull it out just a little, like that. Don't pull all the way down in the track. So you don't want to pull a bitch up. All right, now we're at that part. This track, we're gonna pull back. Now there's a metal clip up the top, and this is the sketchy part. So if you're not handling this right and you slip up, you're gonna hit this paint and you're gonna scratch it. So be careful. And I will say that it sounds kind of sketch when you're pulling it out. You know, you hear cracks and stuff like that, but you're fine. Don't be a big pansy. All right. So, I like to usually get this clip out, which is the hardest part. And look, this is the trick to this. And I'm telling you, this will save you a lot of pain. You see how I barely got that lip out? It's barely touching that. Right there. That is holding that from going back in. And there's a lot of pressure on it, so usually it stays. All right, next we're gonna remove the glass. So when you remove the glass, be careful, because it's glass. You know, most people know that. But hands here. Pull out. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Hands here. Pull. All right. Once you get it slid back, you're gonna pull the top out a little. Wiggle her. Give it a little wiggle. She likes a little wiggle. All right. Now, we're gonna come over to my trusty workbench here. If you see, this looks like a big scary mess. It's really not. I'm gonna come over to my workbench. I'm gonna prop my phone up right here. Maybe right here. It might look a little better. All right. Windows removed. This gasket comes right off. Usually I start at the thinnest part. You know, and the inside's thicker than the outside, so pull out the outside, obviously. Gasket. Put it over there. It's not important. It is important. You gotta put it back on. You can see by the dirt line how far that mofo goes back in there, man. I mean, that's, you know, the issue isn't a light gap, it's a rubber gap on the outside. It's what I like to call it. I don't know what the hell y'all call it. So, you know, you look on the outside, you can see that the tint doesn't go all the way to the edge of the rubber on the outside, but on the inside it's covered. I hate that. Amateur hour. Charge more. I charge about $135 to do these front two doors with the front quarter windows. You know, if you could, I usually can swing it under an hour, 45 minutes, but you got to get used to the removing of the glass if you're going to do it. Remember, charge for it. If your time is worth more, charge it. You know, it all depends on location, too. I'm in Virginia Beach. Tint's expensive here compared to Florida, where it's $90. So, yeah, anyways. I have already pre-cut my pattern off the other side. Overlay your tint. Shave it, pretty much. Put it on your peel board. Cut a little, like, 1/16 of an inch around the edge. It's not a big deal if it's uneven, because you ain't going to see it. It's so far behind that gasket, you'll never know. All right. Now, I did pre-cut it on the other side, so let's see what happens, because we all know how glass can be different. Let's clean this bad puppy. Spray. Scratchless scrubby pad. Move my charger cord out of here. Scrubby. Don't drop the damn glass. Well, I'm sure it's not that expensive, but if you buy it from Honda, I'm sure it's expensive for this little ass piece. I don't scrubby both sides, but I will definitely clean both sides. Especially tinting it out of the car. Get the edges real well. They got the most dirt. The little addendums. They like to hold shit in there sometimes. And you can hear me putting it on the workbench. I mean, you don't gotta be too careful with it. Just don't freaking drop it on the ground, obviously. Alright. So then, when I'm tinting glass and it's out of the car, I always try to stand it up. And the reason being is gravity. You know? So if shit's gonna fall out of the sky, it's probably gonna, you know, be dirtier if you have more surface area to cover. This way you end up with like a almost straight up and down position. Give it a little squirty squirt. Get your pattern over here. Don't ever fucking touch the film adhesive side. Some people like to pinch the corners. I don't give a shit. That's not how you're supposed to do it. And, I mean, your fingers have dirt and grime all over them. So, I don't want to hear that, oh, it's fine. Bullshit. If you touch the adhesive side of the film, it's going to have specks there. I don't care. It's science. Alright? So, and don't get me wrong, that's how I was taught. I used to grab corners, but we grow up. And we learn. My bottle's really soapy, so let's see what's the deal here. Boom. I'd rather have it too soapy than not soapy enough, baby. Squeegee the piss out of it. Okay. So, looking pretty good. Make sure, ooh, that was close. Make sure you are not overlapping. And if you are, let's give it a little shavy. You don't want too big of a gap from the edge, because you will see it if it's too big. And you just did all this for nothing. You'll feel really bad. All right. Spray. It's a good squirting bottle. Always like me a good squirter. All right. Give it one of these suckers. Try to hit the edges, get all the water out of the edge, because remember, when you put this back in, you got a gasket that's going to be pinching. You're going to be putting a lot of pressure on it. And then not only that, you got to slide the bitch in there with the gasket on. So, what I like to do is after you tint, you take a torch and heat it. Now usually, I'll just tint another window, let it sit on my bench, come back, put it in, do the front doors last. And do the front quarters first, do the roll-ups on the front doors last. And then while everything's dry and tacking up, I do the back. But because I'm making this video, I'm not going to do the whole back and watch you, or make two parts. I'm trying to do this all in one setting. In a sec, I see a little overlap. You got a fresh blade too when you're doing this. Alright. So, because I'm not waiting, I'm going to torch it. And this is a risk. And usually I definitely like to let them sit anytime I remove some glass. But, the things I do for you people. Now, I've lost all feeling of heat over the years from tinting, so I can touch the glass right after I torch it, if you're wondering why. I don't feel anything. Don't burn your thumb off. Alright. Lay it back down. Take your tool. Smash that edge down. If you get it too hot, you'll smear the glue. Which, you know, as long as it's within this edge, you're not going to notice it. But if you go like a ½ inch in there, you're going to see a big smear spot. So don't do that. You definitely don't want to do all this work and then fuck it up at the end. So, be careful. Alright. Wipey. Boom. Tint it. Gasket goes right in. Some people will put water in there. The reason I don't do that is because you just tinted it. Water on the edge gets in there. You're going to be redoing this window. Because, you know, when you do stuff like this and you got an edge, although it's small, if you hit the lip, it's going to peel on you. Sometimes you just got to work it in there. Boom, boom, boom. Wipe it down. Window cleaner on the outside before you all bitch. Not on the phone. A little more wipey. Get the fingerprints off there. Just so I can show you what it looks like. And by the way, if this cuts out, I'll make a part 2. So I don't know what my phone storage is at. Alright. Gasket back on. Do you see a gap? No. You know why? Because this is what professionals do. And like I said, before y'all bitch, there are certain models, or I guess same model, but I have had ones that the gasket's a lot looser. This particular one you saw in the beginning, I had to literally yank my gray card out because it was so tight. I'm sorry, but this is so much more easier. And, you know, I'm at 21 minutes in this video. I've been talking a lot. It's really a 5-10 minute thing when you get it quick enough. And like I said, especially if you're letting it sit, go do something else while it's letting it sit. But let's install this bad boy. Making my way through the garage, tinting on the Ridgeline. All right, reverse engineering or install, whatever. We'll put you right here. That look good. So, bottom first, slide front through, get the top in. Bottom first. Gotta work it. Again, don't drop the fucking glass. This one's tight. Alright. You want to make sure this bitch is as far forward as possible, because if it's not and you're off a little, you're not putting it back to factory specs. This track will be off, your window will rock. So, let me double check. No peeling. Make sure you check for peeling before you put it all back together. So we are good. Alright. Next is to put the track back in place. Give it a little power. Push that tab in. Remember that tab? Don't fucking scratch it. Push that bitch in there. Alright. So usually what I do tight. So to put this top back in, you really got to put pressure on up here. Put that top screw in first. I mean, I guess you could do the bottom first, but remember, we never removed that very bottom, so I don't see it being a big deal doing it anyway. And we're going to check the window afterwards. None of these things are super tight, by the way. So get it hand tight. Boom, boom, boom. Put this gasket back in. These gaskets can be kind of finicky sometimes. Pretty much like just pinched in there. But usually I like to come on the outside. Get that in there and then work it. Just gotta work it, baby. No, this is not a big deal. If you notice that it's not in right, just keep fucking with it. You'll get it. You definitely want to install it correctly. But you get what I'm saying. Let's work it. Feel that roll, baby. Feel that roll. All right. Next, what you want to do is put this guy back in here. This is the track rubber. Sure, she's all the way in, nice and tight. Okay. Remember that bolt you took out? That's for the track. Sure the hole lines up. Hole lines up, track should be good. But if you move that bottom in there, like I said, I've seen guys do that, but I can't see you. I'm not saying it will happen. I have a feeling that it can't. You know, if this is slotted, that one down there is slotted most likely. You know, if your slot's a ½ inch big and you're ½ inch off the track, your window ain't gonna be rolling up right. Put pressure. Make sure you're spinning the ratchet the right way, not like me. Done. All right. Don't forget about your mirror bolts. Usually I just pop, get them nice and snug. Get this guy down here. Snug them all up. I usually just do a nice little quarter turn. All right. Sensor, or warning light, I guess. There's just one little clip, you'll see it. Snap-a-roo. Door panel. Now usually I would tint this first because I'm making this video. Show you. Front first, back down. Smack, 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 smack. All your screws go back in. This thing goes back in. I don't need to show you all that. You understand. And then this is the final product. Definitely no inside light gap. And let me show you this beautiful beam footage right here. Boom, baby. That's a beautiful window. Look at it. Some 20% on there. But look, no gap on the side. Ooh, that's professional right there, y'all. Well, I hope this helps. This is pretty much the new generation Ridgelines and Pilots, and I think that's all. 100% on that, so you'll figure it out. If it looks like that, it's the same damn thing. But yeah, and if you got any questions, unless y'all got my number, shoot me a message. I don't give a crap. But that's it. Have a good day. Peace.